tax, employment.
Inflation. All that stuff.
Like with Ulikai, because like when we talk about rights and like claim of right and stuff like that, like with some, with my understanding of things, when we go to war and the foundation.
We're in war.
Yeah, or with what we call the understanding of war and the foundation being basically the Bible, basically what.
Okay. Now I'm going to upset people here, and I'm not doing it because I'm going to upset you. It's because if you believe in the Bible, I'm going to say stuff that's going to challenge you severely. Which Bible are we talking about?
Well, the Bible I refer to is the King James Bible.
Okay, no, fair enough. Why is the King James Bible the definitive Bible rather than the ones that were written 2,000 years before that were closer to the time? What makes the King James Bible the definitive
I
Bible?
use the King James because it does have the King's seal on it.
No. The content of that Bible, why is that the definitive Bible and not the stuff that's written 2,000 years ago that is actually contemporary with it? Because you know about Chinese whispers, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you compare those two, the content of this Bible is very, very different. If you can't define how the Bible is the definitive text, you're screwed. And I could rip you apart in a court in about 30 seconds.
So if the court is constituted on the Bible, would that
It's
be
not.
true?
It's not. What is it? It's an instrument of control of the Vatican. The Vatican controls this. The Vatican controls the court. The Vatican controls everything. The Vatican has ripped chapters out of the book in the 12th century. You know that. There's like 80 chapters that have been ripped out. And they've put others in to suit their agenda. If you believe in the Bible, what are you saying? I come under the Vatican. I'm a slave. I have no rights. Now I'm going to throw something at you now. When you stand under your own soul, you stand directly with your God. No middleman. What would you rather do? Would you rather stand directly where you're supposed to be, you and your God, or with a corrupt organisation that will do anything to exploit you? Your choice.
Yeah, I'll just ask you, because that's been put onto paper, as we refer to, it's been placed on paper, it was given authority by the supposed king, authorisation, essentially.
Who is owned by the Vatican, because the crown belongs to the Vatican. So he's authorised a book by the Vatican.
James was a Freemason.
Yeah, the Freemasons as well. Yeah,
The two blokes that deciphered it were Freemasons.
so they translated it to put it in what they wanted.
Yeah, but if that is considered part of the law and what's contained in it essentially right and wrong.
Wait a minute. If it's considered part of the law, why do they ask people to swear on it in a court, which negates it?
Yeah.
See, they're deceiving people on so many levels. I'm not saying that the core truths within any text, like the Bible, are not true. But if you strip the Bible down chapter by chapter, say, what's this chapter about? Love one another. Respect one another. Okay? There are some truths in it, but there is so much distortion and truth in it, it ain't funny.
Because I was just with setting key trust, like when I read it, I can see the keys or the clues in there with, like if anyone wants to read the tale of the Good Samaritan, it basically, that story basically outlines kind of this fraud in a veil of...
Everything they do is in clear sight. But
their truth out in clear sight, but it's not.
they have to tell the truth, but it's nothing about how they can shape and disguise the truth. And I say to anyone, you are more than welcome to believe the Quran, the Bible, anything that you want. But just because you believe it doesn't mean it's the actual truth of what's there.
Just because it's written in a book doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
And Jesus said to me, if it sounds logical, then it's the truth. If it's
Well,
not, and if it's illogical,
if you want to know who Jesus was, I'll tell you.
I already know who he is.
Well, if you want to know who I know who it is from the actual factual evidence, then I'll tell you. But you're going to be shocked. Do you want to know?
Yeah, go for it.
I already know.
He was the son of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra.
Oh, that's right. I read that one, yes.
And Mary Magdalene was his half sister.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
You have a
Mary
book.
Magdalene is a soulmate.
It's his wife.
Soulmate.
Yeah, and the reason he married her was he had to marry her to legitimise his reign as the Pharaoh of Egypt, because she was the daughter of Isis, and everything's to do with the bloodline of a woman.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to go into detail and show all of that, but I'm here, that's getting into the whole spiritual side of bits and pieces, and I've done more than 50 years of research into all of that stuff. And I've got books on it, I've got documentaries out there that you can have, and you're welcome to not believe it and say it's a load of rubbish, or you're welcome to go, oh my God, that all makes sense.
But does the Bible form part of contract? Would you say it forms part of
If you believe in it, it does. If you believe in it, you've contracted to it, because you're under the Vatican. Now,
are they bound to it too? To what's contained within that contract?
have they ever changed the Bible? So they change the contract when it suits them. There's been people who've had driver's licences, right? And they've written on it UCC 308. Do you know anyone that's done it? Yeah. They'll write stuff on the driver's licence, and they think that means something. You have received a sealed document, which is the contract you agreed to. You can't change the contract by writing on it. There must be agreement of both.
When the RMS tells you to sign in that little box, you can write underneath, sign under protest of duress, nullifying the validity of the instrument to avoid that issue.
Well then,
Because there's no...
it's no, but you have to do it before it's sealed.
Yeah.
If you do it before it's sealed, it's not worth anything. But you're better off pointing out to them, which is I've done. I said, oh, sorry, you just transferred my registration into the name of the fiction. They go, what? I said, well, if you look at the paperwork, it says this, and you've changed it into an all-capital corporate entity. Oh, the computer automatically does that. I said, yeah, I know, it's fraudulently programmed, but that doesn't mean it's real. I'm doing this, I'm raising it, and I've got documents from Vic Roads that say we can only register a vehicle to a corporation or an individual, and we do not recognise you as an individual. Now, once I've got that, that means they can't register a car to me, the living man, and they know that. Therefore, if I offer to register it and they can't do it, they can't charge me with driving an unregistered vehicle, because I've offered.
Is that legal to drive a car whenever you want?
No, you can travel. You can travel in your own private property.
I gave my licence back 8 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I kept mine and I sent them a scanned copy back saying the original's being kept as evidence of fraud. Same with the number plates. They said, oh, you have to return the number plates. No, I don't. When I request documents from the court, I request them. They say, oh, you have to pay for this. You have to pay for the transcript. You have to pay for the audio. I said, no, I'm requesting it as evidence in an investigation of fraud. You can't make me pay for evidence. Now you're withholding evidence. Now the court's acting criminally.
So when my son is due to go for his driver's license, what, he won't have to, or he doesn't?
He can if he wants to. If he wants to be part of the fraudulent system, he can. Alternatively, he could get a certificate of competency to operate whatever it is, and you name it not as a vehicle, you name it as a Nissan 105 blah blah blah, but you don't put the VHN number down, the VIN number. You don't leave that out. You just give the model, the make, whatever. He is competent, has proven to be competent to travel as the operator of that private property. And we're going to get all of these from the First Nations people. No driver's licences, no registration. The changes that are coming up are going to shock you, but they're going to make you happy at the same time. Just be patient. All right, any other questions? As I said, there's heaps of stuff I could talk about.